kills me when you see people needlessly dying. And so when I was with the other nonprofit, I was out learning and trying different things out for what we're doing here, and that's providing Narcan through access points or access locations. And why does an access location work better than just passing it out? Anybody here? Why is it better?
Greater access to the individuals who need it. People who use substances and their family members.
Yeah. And so if somebody gets up and drives somewhere to get Narcan, that person's serious about what they need and what they're paying. This is not going out directly toward people that use. I was an opioid addict, or I had what we call opioid use disorder. It is a medical term and it's a medical issue. I dealt with it for 45 years. I had good times and I had not so good times. I have a degree in safety. I worked downtown at Chevron while I was using. And so we can't look at people and try and judge who is and who's not. So, once I got an idea, working for the other nonprofit, I felt compelled to come to Galveston County and do what we're doing now. I think it was 9 months ago, we had our first access point or access location. That was at Hart Pharmacy. And we put it out there, and it was just amazing what happened. I mean, really amazing. And we know the people that come in taking it have an issue with family or whoever. And so from there, we went to One Stop Hardware. And from there, we went to the Sullivan's Pharmacy. And so,
you guys still here?
I mean, they had so much going out, and we couldn't get Narcan. And so we struggled with keeping, we've never run out. But we spent our time out gathering up Narcan to keep the machines full. Well, now we're getting Narcan. And to date, we have 14 machines in Galveston County where you can walk in and have free access. There's no stigma, none of that. They walk in, and the machines typically are over by the door. They can go in and get it and take it and save somebody's life. Today I was at the hardware store, One Stop Hardware, and I walked in and the owner was, wow, you're not gonna believe this. 2 days ago, a guy came in here and told us he had had Narcan with him for a year. He finally used it to save somebody's life. And so we know this is working. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna introduce you to a couple of things. One thing that's really, it was a passion for me to get this finished. I had nothing to do with developing our app. That was Tisha. She's my executive assistant, and she worked on it, and it was not easy. So if you guys have your phones,
So this is a Narcan presentation?
I would encourage you to do this. Take your phone. We're on both formats. We're on Apple and Google. Go to it, in the Play Store or whatever, and I do it now. Download our app. That'll enable these Gulf Coast outreach services.
People saving lives, guys, pay attention.
And you can follow me when we kind of look at the simplicity. So having all these locations is one thing, but people knowing where they are is another thing. And so we've got our app, and we've also got our bill should be up. You've got your paper, you can look at it. This is not the final copy. It's being changed a little bit right now. But what it says is Gulf Coast Outreach Services free Narcan location app. I would download this with you. You say, I don't need it. Well, your neighbor there, your friend there, somebody come, my son's on fentanyl. What do I do? Where do I get this Narcan? And you can say, well, I don't know, or you can say, here's where the location is. And get them to download it to you. Everybody needs to have.
Hey guys, this is more public
Just like everybody
information
needs
than
Narcan.
our standard stuff.
Today. He said, I had it for a year, and I finally used it to save somebody's life. So when you go to the app, if you download it, here's what it looks like. It's got all the locations, whether it's during the business hours or whether it's 24 hours. And so we have machines like Paul, we have one outside, one inside, and they both do almost the same, 30, 35 doses each a month. That's potentially saving.
They have a refrigerator with Narcan in it, and they're just doing a presentation, guys.
I would definitely do that. App really excites me. This excites me because we know if we get the word out there that we can save lives by making the Narcan available. So with 14 to 15, and this one actually
Just trying to save lives.
is number 11 inside, and then the 4 that are outside makes 15. So we're definitely making advances. Okay. Now, on your sheet,
My screen's set wrong, so I can't respond to you guys well.
I mean, really, most of the numbers we have are from the first 3 or 4 vending machines that we have, because most of the new ones are just getting filled up and gone. But our numbers last month.
So
were
right behind him is a
207
refrigerator,
that went into the community.
and it's full of Narcan, so they're making a safe space for Narcan,
To 350
for people in trouble.
As long as we're getting Narcan. If you multiply that times 12, and you're looking at 3 to 5,000 that are going, we want to saturate the community. We want mothers and fathers and friends and neighbors to have Narcan. So if somebody overdoses, they'll be there to save a life, rather than calling 911. That doesn't always work. If they get there late, people
Sorry, guys.
get brain damage, or they die.
Sergeant Whitner's gonna come up here.
So, we're excited about
Sergeant's
this,
gonna come up here.
and
I don't think.
listed all the locations
He'll be up
on
here
the
in a
sheet
second.
also. Now, I'd like to introduce somebody I met just 2 or 3 months ago. And I think it was at one of the health department meetings. And he was talking about his involvement with Narcan. Oh, wow. And he knew what he was talking about. And so we got a chance to say hi. Then I was doing a presentation at the high school in Santa Fe. And I look over, and this guy, Ray, was there. And he came up and spoke. I said, man, this guy's really good. He's really good. And I asked a couple of people, I just met him. I said, is this guy for real? Is he for real? Is this what he's like all the time? Everybody I spoke to, this is a guy with character. This is him. And I thought, man, that's refreshing. That somebody's not out there pretending to be somebody. You know, and then everything changes when he's not doing what he's doing. And so it was a great meeting, and I believe the Lord brought us together for the future. And I plan on working with him whenever I can. And so I'm just really, he's the one who got this done. I tried for a year, could not get in. This is one of the first places that I wanted this done. You know why? These doors over here come out of the jail. And I was one of the ones who came out of the jail after 6 months. And when you get it, if you're in your addiction and you get in jail and you come out, first thing you're looking for is dope. My next door neighbor, he spent 6 months in here. He got out and got what he thought was cocaine. And guess what? It was covered with fentanyl. And his friends left him there. It's 2 doors down. I had a truckload of Narcan. You know, I never heard anything about it until it was all over. So we know people coming from jail, one of the first things they do is start looking for drugs. That's why I felt like this was really, really important to have it here for the families. Families who come here visiting, so they'll have free access to it. So, saying that, I want to let Ray speak, talk about what we're doing, and just really grateful to God.
Thank you, Les. So, First of all, the sheriff's office is very honored to be able to partner with Gulf Coast Outreach and be able to be one of the locations for one of these vending machines. When I came to that Santa Fe High School event,
Narcan vending
I
machine.
wasn't intended on talking. I was just coming to hear what was being said by Les and his group, and some of the efforts that they were doing. And then I got asked to come up there. And what a lot of people don't know about me, not only am I in law enforcement, but I'm also a 36-year paramedic and worked in that field for a long time. And some of the parents out there were having some questions that I didn't feel like, there was a lot of expertise up there because a lot of it is based on outreach and stuff like that. So I wanted to kind of put something into perspective, because a lot of people think when somebody is a victim of an opioid overdose that they have time. And you have no time. You have not any time. So irreversible brain death occurs between 4 to 6 minutes without you breathing. And that's what opioids do. They suppress and knock out your respiratory drive. So while these abusers
you
are
guys
not
up on that later.
intending to take too much, they don't want to pass away. They just want to get a good high and be numb for a while from whatever demons or problems that they're dealing with. The consequence of that is, though, is that sometimes you don't know what all is in what you're taking, right? And so, unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of fentanyl that's coming across borders. A lot of it's being made, in backyards and garages, and it's being pressed into pills, and it's being laced into other drugs. And so, if I'm a dealer,
Give me a sec, Cliff.
And Les is a dealer, and we're both selling methamphetamines, but I'm lacing mine with a little bit of fentanyl, so you as a user can get a better high. The next time you're ready to go get some more, are you coming to me or Les? Right? You're probably coming to me. And I have no scientific, expertise on how much of this stuff to put in this drugs. And every once in a while, someone becomes a statistics, but, that's the cost of doing business to them. But we know that Narcan is a lifesaver, right? I have been given Narcan as a paramedic for, like I said, 35 plus years. For most of my career, we could only give it IV. And so a lot of times when we would arrive to one of these calls for service, we were too late because that irreversible brain death occurs in 4 to 6 minutes. And the average response time of an EMS unit is anywhere from 7 to 10 to 12 minutes. So y'all do the math on that. If I'm the paramedic at the station, someone had to recognize the emergency. They had to activate 911. The dispatchers had to dispatch me. I get the tone. I get up, get in my truck. We got to go find the location. All while this person is not breathing. We're going past the threshold of 4 to 6 minutes. So when I would get there, usually they're unconscious down. We would start working on them, usually have to do CPR. Sometimes we would get them back, oftentimes we wouldn't. And when we did get them back, they had no brain activity. So the message that I wanted to send out to the parents is that this stuff is a lifesaver. It truly is. They started giving it to us in the aerolized nasal form. And if these family members and loved ones and friends can recognize someone's not breathing and they can administer this Narcan, they're going to be within that 4 to 6 window. These people are going to come back. They're mad as the dickens because their high got ruined, right? But they're going to come back. They're going to save their lives, much to their chagrin sometimes because, like I said, they got their high destroyed. But that's how you save lives. So we've got to get this into the hands of the public, the family members, the loved ones, the friends, because expecting EMS to get there and do that for you is going to be an unfavorable outcome. I promise you, I've seen it. I've seen it so much. And so the great thing about Narcan is you can't give too much, number one. Number two, if they didn't need it, if they're unconscious or unresponsive for another reason, this is not going to hurt them. There's no downside to this. And so then it's like, how do we get it out to people more often? And some people say, well, look, if you put it in the jail, it's going to be the people that are getting out of jail, this abusers that's going to see it, and they're going to get it and take it home, and they're going to use it on themselves. You're kind of enabling them to be a user. I would give I can't tell you how much money I would give somebody if a user come out of one of these doors and came over to this vending machine and got a Narcan. They're not interested in, this is like their kryptonite. They don't want anything to do with it. Our hopes is that when we have visitors come up here that are family members and loved ones, that they're gonna see this. They may or may not know that their family or loved one that they're visiting or maybe getting out of jail is a user, and they're gonna see that, and you're like, you know, I'm just gonna slip this into my purse or my glove compartment, and if I ever need it, I'll have it. And so that's the hopes of, and the ideology of bringing this in here and putting it here, because those people come up to that counter, hopefully they're gonna be able to see this. Captain Roy, Lieutenant Roy works here, he's gonna try to help monitor it, make sure it stays full. Les is gonna
It's a
monitor it,
Narcan
make sure it
dispenser,
stays full.
Randy.
We're gonna see how much it gets used, but we're really excited to partner with you, Les, and let's see if we can save some lives.
Amen. A couple of things that I wanted to share. Nothing really surprises me or vexes me. When I looked at the amount of the fake pills that came into our country in 2022, it's 57 million. Now that seems like a big number. That's what got stopped. And most likely 5%, maybe 10% is what that is. So figure that out.
Hey guys, for anybody coming in late, they're putting in a Narcan dispenser here at the outlet. And this is just a presentation I happened across while I was taking care of normal business, okay? So this is actually a really good thing. If you're in the Galveston area and you have people that have addiction issues, there is Narcan available for you to keep available, okay? Harvey, if you're in here, I'm not gonna answer that phone. I'm in the middle of videoing, okay?
People quit dying in Galveston County, then we will quit. That's our goal, 0 fatality. My friend, Dr. Kristen Clancy, come up. She's been helping us. She's one of our troopers.
Where's my filmer? Hello. So glad you're here. So my name is Dr. Kristen Clancy. I'm a pharmacist by training. I started a nonprofit called that advocated for patients who had some use disorders, specifically opioid disorders, so they could get access to medication like this. One of the things that I think that we tend not to think about is that for every fatality, okay, especially in Galveston County, there's 3 people that had an EMS call. That's a very expensive phone call. Somebody that possibly could have had their life saved just by having Narcan in a house for free from the state, right? If they knew where to get it. Every person that is reversed can still suffer irreversible brain damage or organ damage, right? Just because they're alive doesn't mean they lived through it, right? People that do die, they have 5 immediate family members that are going to be affected by that loss, right? They have friends, they have neighbors, they have community, maybe they went to church, to school, whatever. If you have not been on the scene where a mother has found her dead child, you are blessed. You are absolutely blessed. I've experienced, I'm sure Ray has, I would not wish that for anyone, right? This medication is free. We put these in refrigerators to start the conversation piece that this is not a medication that should be stigmatized. This is a medication that will help you breathe. I learned CPR every year from junior high to high school, and nobody ever looked at me and said, oh, she knows how to help people start breathing again. I don't understand where the medication became such an evil thing in our community, right? People are sick. Opioids are substance community for a very long time. It's recognized by medical professionals for decades. I also want you to think, in addition to people walking out of the jail, their tolerance is lower, they are at increased risk for overdose, right? Because they haven't had access to a substance. As Les mentioned, my coping mechanism is drugs. You put me in jail for a long time, like, that's what I've been thinking about that whole time, right? Something else that we need to think about, we are so aware of COVID burnout. We burn out our nurses. We have a nursing shortage. We have a pharmacist shortage. Farmageddon was this week. Literally thousands of pharmacists walked out of thousands of pharmacies across the country. But we have been asking the first responders since before the COVID pandemic to come and pick up people that do not have treatment options in their facilities. They overdose, they go to the hospital, and then they're released to a community that can't help them, okay? Community resources like Gulf Coast Outreach, like the Houston Recovery Initiative, like Dakota, like the health department, we help
This right here,
connect
can't look in the body,
people to systems of care where they can get treatment for whatever it is that ails them, regular health care, substance use disorder, opioid use disorder, so that they stay alive. I'm really hoping that Terry's going to speak in a minute, but I recognize county is very conservative, very pro-life, and it upsets me greatly when we stop thinking that we need to save the lives of kids or the unborn only, and when people grow up and they have issues, well, sorry, you shouldn't have been a drug addict, right? These are people too. This is somebody's child. These are somebody's siblings. This is a community issue. It's not an individual issue. And I really glad to see so many people here that are addressing this like a community effort. It needs to be resolved. So thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
I look out and I see all these people that I work with.
People making change,
You
guys.
just love each other. We're all working together to save lives. So, and I'm very humbled to be able to work with these people. 5.5 years ago, I was not worth putting a bullet in my head. Not worth anything to society. But God changed my life. And now I'm here working with people that are so much more qualified than I am. And it's humbling. So, I'm grateful to you guys. I'm grateful to God. Terry, come give us your message. Texas State Representative Terry Leo Wilson.
You got it. Well, thank you very much for inviting me, Les. We appreciate all that you're doing, that you had the vision for all of this. And because of that, we have saved lives. And I agree with the previous speaker. We want to save lives. And that's the bottom line here. The Texas legislature had a lot of different fentanyl bills coming through, but mainly they focused on the criminal aspects, which that's all well and good. I co-authored those bills as well. We want higher criminal penalties. We don't want this considered an overdose. This is a homicide. When you are deliberately adding this to your drugs that make it highly addictive, and you get your clientele to keep coming back, that is manufacturing and delivery of fentanyl substance should have higher criminal penalties. And you should be able to face murder charges. So we want to toughen that end, but that does nothing in the end to save lives. This is what saves lives. I just wanted to tell you that you can get this free as well, not just here, but this is what I carry in my car every single day. So this, you can get it from, it's called morenarconplease.com. Anyone can get it. It's free of charge. It'll take about 4 weeks to get. But carry it in your car. Carry it anywhere. You don't know. You just don't know. David and I worked with the homeless for years in the Houston area. And we divided the area in a grid so that we would see the same people and get to know them and build a relationship with them. And I mean, some of their lives are horrific. Some of the things, it's like, you know, that could have easily happened to me. And so, you know, much of that population is struggling with addiction or mental illness. This will help. This will help save their lives. And having access to people who care about them, having that right on hand is key and critical. Ray, you hit the nail on the head when you talked about the safety of this. A lot of people are scared, well, what if, you know, I give it to somebody and, you know, they haven't, you know, that wasn't what they overdosed on, or what if it wasn't fentanyl? This will harm them in no way, shape, or form. If you see those signs and somebody's not breathing and you suspect that, administer this immediately. Carry it with you. You just don't know. I mean, and it's not just all about addicts. I taught school. Kids make stupid mistakes all the time. And maybe they're trying something for the very first time, and they don't know, we don't know what's in it. I think the DPS last year, it was like 535 million doses of fentanyl, and those were the ones that we got, were seeds. So, and those were lethal doses of fentanyl. So it is way beyond. Galveston County is the second highest in the state. That's still where we're at, Stan?
We're changing that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we are here to change that. And thank you for all of your work, class. Thank you for inviting me. But do order this. It costs you nothing, but it can save a life. And, you know, totally change a family. Like you said, it's just not a death in a family. It affects everyone in the family. And even when we were working with the homeless population, we had one mom that had a normal life. She was a nurse. She watched her child being murdered in front of her. She could not get beyond it. I don't know if I could. I'm not in her shoes. I never hope that for anyone, like I said. People have addictions. People have issues. People are first-time users. People make mistakes. People make bad choices. People maybe wanted a good night's sleep. And they just thought, okay, well, I'm just going to order this drug from who knows where, and just because I want a good night's sleep, I'm having struggles at work, and you just don't know what happens to people's lives. And we're not here to judge. We're here to help. We're here to save. We're here to transform, and this drug will do it. So, thank you.
Amen.
Thank you. And she's on our side, guys. I mean, she's in Texas Congress is going to bat for what we're doing. She's not sitting back and watching and taking it easy. Every time I hear something, she's making effort to get some things passed that people from an old mentality that consider this enabling people, just like the fentanyl test strips. Oh, if you give them that, then they'll know what to take and what not. Yeah, that's right. We don't want people dying needlessly. That's not enabling them. People are going to use anyway. I know from 45 years experience. So, thank you so much for being with us. And Dr. John Mills, I want to introduce him. He is the opioid abatement fund.
Sorry, Karen, I'm trying to put this in here. Can you link that?
Tell you what he does,
There we go.
and just share with
Can you go ahead and link that so that people can get this? Thank you.
Governor appointed me to the opioid abatement fund council for the state of Texas. Most people don't know what that is. It's a fund, essentially a pot of money given to the state to these drug settlements. So drug companies were pushing opiates a few years ago. There's a massive lawsuit. This money got transferred to the comptroller's office. So actually opioid abatement fund councils under the comptroller's office. So they do administrative support. So far, all we've done, because we want to be very even-handed about who gets the money, we have to develop all these administrative procedures and rules and application forms. And our intention is not to give this money all the way in 1 year.
I don't
Because we
think it
want to
expires.
fund sustainable efforts. And we want to stop the opioid epidemic in Texas. The leading cause of death for people released from prison is drug overdose. And so I pray that some family members who come here to visit will get some Narcan.
You and me both.
The other point, about 80% of deaths from fentanyl aren't from people who are really classified as substance abusers. The Mexican drug cartels have gotten very good drug tests. They can make a tablet that looks just like an Adderall. They can make a tablet that looks just like a Percocet. They can make a tablet that looks exactly like a Xanax. Same color, same size, same numbers. So part of this, I strongly support Narcan everywhere. But the family members need to impress on their younger family members that if you didn't get the pill from a pharmacy, you have no idea what's in it. And there's just story after story about some parent coming up to their child's room and finding them dead because they're going to take an Adderall because they want to cram for an exam. It wasn't Adderall, it's fentanyl. So these fake drugs go and kill people in their first time users. It's tragic. One of the strategies, actually opioid abatement fund council is debating now, is pushing a lot of Narcan up to law enforcement. Actually, my son's a deputy sheriff, my wife used to be a police officer, I've worked for the Tarrant County Sheriff for many, many years. And I can tell you the one group of people in the county that knows where the drugs are is law enforcement. Because they're out rolling every night and they're picking people up. And I want to get the law enforcement agencies out there so if they go out into an area where they know there's drug use, if somebody they can arrest, I'm sure they're going to arrest them. But they can pass out Narcan when they're out doing their rounds. And get them on specifically get them on in the areas of need. And I just really am thankful that Representative Terry Leo Wilson took her time to come and talk to you. The Sheriff's Office represented by David Nolan, I'm very happy. Of course, Dr. Clancy is very active in this forum, so actually I'm kind of humbled by the company that we brought here. Thanks for inviting.
Oh, thank you. He's also working to get some things accomplished in his group, and he's very committed to it. I'm grateful that you came. I want to invite up Ashley with the health department. I didn't know she was coming, but I'm glad she's here. She's got a couple of things. These are my buddies, man. I'm going to share this real quick. What we're doing, the only reason I can do what I'm doing and feel that things are complete is that the health department provided Narcan for all of the police and sheriff's department, all of them. That was part of the mandate from our government. Natalie, and she did all of this stuff.
I don't know, most people care about getting the driver's license and car.
Hey guys, so I'm just coming outside for a second. I don't want to interrupt what they got going on, but they've put a refrigerator of Narcan in, of all places, here. The intake for Galveston County, or the outtake of Galveston County Jail. But most of the deputies that have been in here have been pretty reasonable to us. They're talking about how people that come out of jail go straight for a hit of this or a hit of that. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a different world in there. And when you come out, poor decisions and finding another way of feeling normal is the thing that happens. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't know. I am going to grab some and keep it with me. Just being a cop watcher, sometimes I end up even before the cops are there. Like, I have hundreds of hours of videos that aren't posted, and we have, I think there's a couple of them that are bodies, recoveries that are probably uploaded, and they're definitely fentanyl or, some other opioid. So, I happen to be up here doing some stuff, and they were doing this, so I figured maybe you guys would like it and see our state representatives doing something positive. So, I don't know, keep track.
My good friend Paul, and all this stuff that we're doing, really, what I do is not nearly as important is what our team does out in the field. And she is the executive director of St. Vincent's House. And this is where we tried our first outside vending machine. And those are necessary. They're available 24 hours a day. And this was the first location. And I told them, I said, they might pick it up and take it and sell it for scrap metal. I mean, you gotta expect these things. So we tried it. And man, it has been successful. Sometimes there's this attitude, they're trying to help us in their own story, even with people that are sick with it. So it has been awesome. So
Thank you, Les. As Les said, I'm Paula, the executive director.
Leslie.
This is Leslie Garza. She's our Narcan coordinator, monitor, gets all the reports. But like everybody said, this is truly a community event. And part of the reason we partnered is at St. Vincent's House, we have over 100,000 people come through our doors. So we see the most vulnerable of our community. And it's also important to know as we look at our statistics. So like Les said, we have 2 machines. One's in our lobby. Our lobby gets a lot of traffic. This year, like I said, we'll have over 100,000 different people. And in one
Hey
night,
guys, here's the sad truth of it all, is the only people sitting here watching this presentation are the people giving the presentation. So, this is life-saving stuff. I'm not messing with it, but recognize
in the alley, we have a food pantry.
this is part of what it is.
To get the food, the machine is right there. It's, on the weekend, there's nobody that's looking at it after hours. Everybody has been very respectful. They just grab what they need. But we had a mom, as she was getting her food, ask our staff, what is that? And they explained, and you know how we parents, we have that instinct, something's going on. So she took one, brought it home, and then that night her son had had an overdose. She saved his life by having it there. And as we said, we so stereotype that there's so much shame and everything to it, but we just never know. We had a 16-year-old boy in Friendswood that ordered some stuff on Facebook because he didn't want to worry his parents. He was having anxiety. Well, guess what? It was laced with, and he didn't make it. So it is so important. I give this to my kids. I give it to my kids' friends, everybody that we know. I think the whole staff, we carry it. We really try to get that message out. You just never know when you might need it. And as a layperson, I've been a hospital administrator, but I am not a clinician. It is easy to use. You cannot hurt someone. It's, as Les always says, one pill can kill. That's all it takes. And Narcan is the only proven solution to save a life from an overdose. You cannot hurt somebody, but you can save a life. And we at St. Vincent's House are so truly grateful to be part of this community. We all have the same mission, and we look forward to saving more lives in Galveston County, and we'll do it together.
Amen. Hi, Leslie. God bless you guys.
What's this life expectancy in a car? Like if you're carrying it around, because I recognize that we have it in the
So that
refrigerator.
is something that a lot of clients and public people are concerned with, and we were concerned too when it was going to be set in the alley, if it's exposed to high temperatures of heat. But Les told us and trained us that it is okay for it to be out there, and it's not going to be out there for too long a time because the public is coming daily and they're taking it away.
Okay, so as somebody who keeps it in their car or something, you know, what's its viability? I mean, it's better than nothing, but
It does not go bad, but it will become diluted.
okay.
So it's not gonna hurt anybody, you just may have to use.
So at the same time, something is better than nothing, and that's kind of okay.
Insulated lunch kit
Okay.
and keep them in that.
Dr. Clancy.
Yeah, because it's super hot down here. There we go.
So one thing that I
Yeah.
think that is very important for your listeners is that Narcan is actually stable in the nasal spray for 10 years past the expiration date.
Okay.
So when this medication expires, it can still be used to save a life. Unfortunately, because it's a federal expiration date, states, counties are limited.
Big Pharma.
To what they can do to redistribute. But the Galveston County Health Department and the law enforcement officers here have been very strategic about getting those doses out of the agency's hands before they expire, and then giving them left so they can be put into machines, so they can be distributed to the public, because they can still be used to save lives. We recommend not keeping it in your car in the Texas summer. That's really bad, but if it freezes, as long as it thaws out before you use it, it's fine. If it's chilled, it's fine. The heat.
But even old,
but-
hot Narcan is better than no Narcan.
Right, exactly. A Narcan that's half effective is still better than nothing, right? And if you think about in Galveston County, and you'll probably be the expert on that, there's areas of Galveston County that are gonna be, 10, 20, 30 minutes for an ambulance to get to. I know.
Especially on the west
Roads.
end or,
Yeah, when we were setting up sites at Hitchcock, they, like all these outside native areas, I was like, I cannot believe there's even a town in this, outside of all these, fields and everything. Anything is better than nothing, right? I would, but again, if you leave your car in the parking lot, somebody overdoses right here, you can get immersed. Nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
thank
Any other
you.
question? I want these two ladies to come up here real quick. Go on, Ted. Jacqueline. We're not gonna miss you. This is part of our.
Now's the
team
time to ask.
Coalition. This is Jacqueline with the ROSC organization, and this is Shannon with Lakota, Bay Area Council of Drugs and Alcohol. You guys just share a little bit.
Okay, so ROSC is the Recovery Oriented Systems of Care. It's an initiative that's put on by Texas Health and Human Services Commission. We have really concentrated on Galveston County, even though we're supposed to be over Region 6. In the last few years, we've really concentrated on Galveston County and getting all the care services and systems, 501c3s, resources. We get them all to the table once a month and let them share resources with one another. And what we've done is allow people to collaborate and do a lot of community engagements. And what's happening now is you have all this health systems collaborations happening, which is allowing people to help each other's people. And so this has been a really great thing for Galveston County. It's really lit recovery into all systems of care, whether it be mental health, physical health, spiritual health. It's opening doors. The wonderful thing about all of this coming together is that fentanyl has really opened the doors to in the eyes of places that weren't looking at substance use disorder. And now those doors are cracked, and now we can take our recovery-oriented care into those areas. And so that's some of the goals for 2024. We've got some really great ideas. We're working alongside the Opioid Response Network, and also G-Code is part of Galveston County's effort. Stands for Galveston County Opioid Defense Efforts. And we're all coming together, working a lot together. Shannon's a big help with all of those things. We all work in a lot of different organizations. I know the ROSC, I'm a registered nurse and also a recovery support care specialist. So what that means is I have lived experience and long-term recovery, and I help a lot of people get off the streets and into treatment. And so with the Narcan, I'm able to educate at a community level. I do have a project that we're going to be doing, passing it out at some convenience stores that are frequented by substance use users. And so this is definitely something that we want to take a look at and continue to collaborate on. Les has done a wonderful thing here for passing it out already and giving us a means and ways to get it out there and saturate our county. So we're glad to be part of that.
Well, Shannon Lean, I'm the Galveston County Community Coalition Coordinator with Bay Area Council on Drug and Alcohol. Try saying that. So we are all about youth prevention. So we are on alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. How I got involved with all of this was I can owe it all to the Jamaica Police Department, the chief, Garrett, who called me wanting some Narcan, and I think it was all of us trying to work together, but separate in a way. We didn't know we were all working on the same thing. So he asked for Narcan and then sent out a large email to all of the police departments within our county. And next thing I know, my phone was just ringing off the hook for Narcan. So, but that was a good thing. It opened doors that I was able to get into, as well as then it opened doors with the ROSC, as well as the health department, Les, everyone else. So again, we are upstream prevention. So that is where we focus at, vaping, prevention on any other drugs or alcohol as well. So I'll stop there. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
One more thing, prevention is part of Ross. That's how we met Shannon coming to our table. We also have some of the judicial services. We have drug court in our Ross groups. We have the judicial court. I'm sorry to say that 3 times. The CPS providers, things like that. We also have pastors on patrols and some chaplain services already coming. So we'd like to see more of the revolving doors, a lot more of the schools coming to our Ross so they can see that how we're dealing with this. That's some of our goals for 2024. And also looking at getting hospitalists to come to our meetings as well. And so those are some of our goals. And I just want to put that out there because we haven't seen that yet, but the doors are open and the invitation's out there. So.
Thank you, guys. Well, Gulf Coast Outreach Services does not charge anything for anything. Everything we do is paid for by our organization. So if you need trainings, if you need Narcan, if you want the machine set up, we do that at no cost. I just didn't feel like I would not feel right having a price tag on saving lives. So we do not intend to stop. When this was designed, it was designed to be duplicatable. So this is a marketing problem that we've got, more than anything. Because the product is going now from the nurses' college, and they had a problem for a year, maybe longer, in trying to get the product out into the public. Because it was just overwhelming for them. Now they've gotten their stuff really straightened out. You order and you get it within 4 or 5 weeks, and you know it's coming, they document it. So that's a marketing issue. When it comes out to us, there's been no plan. It just goes to anybody and everybody, and nobody knows how to get it into the hands of the people in the community. That's what this was all about. Because we know this is not the only way. This is the most effective way to get it into the hands of the people in the community that need it. And so I passed out cases and cases and cases of Narcan to people I didn't know. Just I'd have a big meeting and we'd pass it out to everybody, whether they wanted it or not. It might have been a novelty to them. Would they use it? Would they do what people do when they see somebody that's passed out and probably overdosed? Would they go to that person with Narcan and administer it? And I began talking to people, a lot of them wouldn't. They would take the Narcan, but they did not really think that they'd have the confidence to go out and administer it. So is that an effective way to provide Narcan and get it in the community? From what I have done, what we're doing when people are accessing it is absolutely the most effective way. So what we're doing here is duplicated. It's very simple. If I can do this, anybody can do it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And so the next step is when we start having, and we're already having counties contact us about helping them do what we're doing. And I think that's going to be a big thing in the next year or so. I'm not going out and trying to recruit anybody. If somebody in a county wants to do what we're doing and have the most effective way, we will help them. So we appreciate everybody being here. Are there any other questions that anybody has?
We got maybe a statement. So Leslie and I, we met right after, I guess, everybody was opening up from COVID. And he was promoting Narcan under a humble environment, if you will. And I was right along with him promoting treatment. So I'm with Open Door Mission. I'm the business development manager there. I work with practically everybody in here. I live in Friendswood, both North Missions and Harris County. So I have one foot literally in Galveston County and another one in Harris County. The resources that Galveston County have for especially men and women as far as treatment is not it's not a good situation, but we are a 175 bed unit, and Galveston County, we get more men in our program from Galveston County than all of the surrounding counties. And we do work with the drug courts in every county that touches Harris County, for the exception of Chambers County, and that's going to change because that's Terry Dale Wilson's area, and we're going to be in touch with that county. But I just want to say this. It's one thing to save somebody's life through Narcan, but treatment is the answer. And like Gulf Coast Outreach Services, you know, like you just said, Les, you know, there's no charge for what you all do. We do not charge anyone to come into our program. It's a 7-month program, and you know, we focus on self-sufficiency for that man that will eventually graduate. Our second chance employment opportunities are there. We have second chance employers in surrounding counties, and we want to grow that number because it's very important that we not only save lives, you know, one life at a time with the Narcan, but we really want to save them, you know, from the drugs and the alcohol. And so,
That's right. We started this together when I worked for the other organization. We traveled 6 different counties together. He was talking about open door mission, and of course I was talking to police and sheriff's departments about Narcan. So he's my good friend and always will be. So what we're doing, guys, I know in the state of Texas nobody's doing this. And I don't think in the country anybody's doing this. And I told everyone when we first started this, Galveston County can be the shining light to the rest of the state, and then possibly to the country, if people take what we're doing. In my heart, I know there's going to be drastic reductions, and we're shooting for 0 fatal overdoses from fentanyl. So thank you guys so much for being here and being able to work with everybody here. It is always a great honor for me. So if we don't have any more questions, do you have anything? Anybody else have anything to share?
Thank you.
We want to give you a hand.
Thank you, guys.
Can I get everybody over here to take a picture, a group picture?
There's
There
one
you go.
missing.
Thank you.
No, as a cop watcher and somebody who's always first on scene, everybody knows it's in the rig.
Yeah.
Most
Take
important.
what you need.
Good, sir. Hanging in there.
So that empty hole is in Galveston Island Transparency's van at all times, guys. For those that need. Windows are cheaper than lives.
Can we get you 4 in here and get Lacey to take our picture too? Come on, get right here for the whole presentation.
You gotta love the hole I made right in that perfect presentation. And by the way, that's literally everybody that's here. That's the deputy helping me out. Everybody in that picture is everybody that was here. That presentation was for them. But it's there.
There, now people can sit around it. Okay. Ready? Wait, let's get up here. You ready? 1,
Hey, Mike. I know it's running a little late. Thanks for everybody that stuck in. I know there's only a couple of you, and this is a little off our general topics, but hey, man. It was here while I was doing other stuff, and I thought it was important. So, it's up. Hey, Mike. So they put in a refrigerator with Narcan that is dispensed. Watch them kicking it around like a volleyball because the photo op's gone. Little comical. A little comical. But for anybody curious, it is in the rig. Hey, Ninja, if you're in here, call me back in a minute. But it'll be in the rig at all times. Narcan's important. You know, sometimes I show up before anybody else does. Yeah. No, all day long, Mike. And it's nice that it's here. It's cool that I have it because, you know, sometimes I show up doing what I do before anybody else. So, and that's Galveston County, and the gentleman in the driving cap, I call it a British driving cap. Apparently he's an ex-addict who has pushed really hard to have Narcan available. So it's funny because they're pushing it around. They don't even know where it's going to be. There was enough to front and face. I went and took the first dose out of it, so now it's all disheveled. It's kind of hilarious.
You know, there's times, that's why we like some of the imagery. Because if somebody, you know, if they lose their train of thought for a second.
Hey, Mike, are you asking if we can do a Narcan thing where you're at?
Yeah, I did one with Paul.
Okay. Hold on just a second. The lady actually right there in the purple, maybe who we should talk to, but also the lady in the green is a PD. Where are you at, Mike? Reno, Nevada area. Okay.
I didn't even try to
He lives here. I don't live here. I live here. Yeah. So that would be the best person for you to get resources.
Okay. So, Mike, we'll get that.
Yeah.
And I'll see what resources.
Yeah.
Reno should be fine.
Oh yeah. So for me, I would Google free Narcan or free naloxone wherever. Like I'm gonna just do my zip code, and that should put you into the organization that's giving it free. Most states are giving it out by free. Some states have legalized Narcan vending machines. So it's interesting that Texas is doing it. It seems really easy, right?
But
The problem is you have to be organized, and you see 3 different organizations work here. Now, trying to do that in other
Galveston's a little into its own, just a little fishbowl, and we know we work with it, but with him, but there was also a website, and you could get it shipped to you. And I do believe that was nationwide.
No, it's just for Texas, but every station has their own, yeah.
Okay, but I'll get with you on, and Karen, if you can put the link to what was on the bottom of the box that the representative had for us, because she had
Yes,
the good.
morenarcanpeace.com.
Okay. So, Mike, I'll do my best to get it to you. Okay?
And you're gonna post this, all of it?
You're live.
I know, but I mean, like, was it recorded?
Yeah. No, it's live and recorded.
And recorded, so you're gonna post the entire video, this entire thing.
It's been rolling for 15
No,
minutes.
but you're gonna like make it a file and send to me. So, right?
You can just go to my YouTube
Okay.
channel,
What's your
Galveston Island Transparency. Yeah, it's got a blue hand. It says do the change.
Okay, yeah.
So can we put insulin next to that?
Insulin is free in certain areas, but again, you have to do free insulin in zip code. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And for anyone that wants to argue that Narcan is free, like, why do we make insulin free? Insulin is free. If you know where to get it, just like Narcan is free if you know where to get it. So you have to
So if you
connect
know
with.
me, you know the lady who lost her foot because
Yeah. So you have to connect with
Poor
community
decisions.
resources in your area that are familiar with
you can be mad at me all you want. She was making poor decisions. So,
Dr. Clancy, good seeing you.
You're awesome. Thanks.
thank you. Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and roll out because we're running a little low on battery here. All right. But thanks for watching, and I will get back to you on finding a link to Narcan in Reno. All right. And thank you, Karen, as always. You're awesome. Later.
Oh, he's